imagining that. I mean, obviously, there's nothing for Wigan in terms of position in the league, but I'm imagining that Wigan are going to want to have some form coming back ahead of the playoffs. You want to get a bit of rhythm, a bit of feel like you're going into the playoffs in good form because obviously Saints and Wigan get next week off. Oh, sorry, get the first week of the playoffs. So I think Wigan will go quite strong for this. I think Catalan are going to continue to build on what they've been doing over the last few weeks. Nevertheless, because Wigan are at home and because I think they'll want to lay down a bit of a marker for the playoffs, I'm going with Wigan, and I'm going with Wigan by 8.
Okay, I've gone Wigan by 14 because I think you should put a bit extra on Wigan at home this year with the way they've gone about their business
won
at
every
home.
Game. Yeah, won every game at home, haven't you? So
well, also it's the amount of points they've scored as well at home.
Yeah.
But Matty Peters said we're going to go in full strength. Obviously, that will mean a full strength side missing Liam Farrell. And there's a few things we need to figure out what we do to make up for that absence and how we fix things up between our centres and second rows, because one of the two second rowers that have been playing quite a bit of centre will have to play in the second row, you'd feel, KPP or Isa, which means we have to play Bibby. He's been a reliable player for us over 3 seasons, but he's not playing well at the moment, I wouldn't say, but that doesn't mean he won't be good in.
Now's the time.
He's only got a couple of games left for his hometown club, so
exactly. So, and he's got a grand final potentially to play.
I think Wigan will try if he can play some minutes. Sam Powell will try and get a few minutes under his belt as well in this match. Either that or Thomas Luluai will play in place of, and I think Thomas Luluai might play maybe in place of one of the halves, or maybe as well be a bench option. So it'd be interesting to see what we do there. But I think we'll try and get some time into those players' legs before the playoffs, because they're the two that are out that I think will come back into contention. But yeah, on to the Saturday games, the more sensible timed games. Saturday, 3 p.m. Hull FC versus Hull KR, a Hull derby, the decider, as they're calling it in Hull, and it's not on telly. We can't watch it. What a shame. Both teams absolutely battered and beaten up. Which way are you going, though? Black and white or red and white?
So for the Poundshop derby, I'm going to go, as I usually do, with home advantage in these things where it's difficult to call. Hull had obviously a very, good win last week. I think Hull will run out, but it'll be tight. I'm going Hull by 4.
Yeah, I'm going to go Hull by 2. I think they'll just. I hope it's an exciting game for everyone that goes to it. I hope it's a high-scoring one. I think both teams are obviously in a bit of a mess, but FC will be able to pick, Connor, Gale, and Smith. Yeah. And whilst Will Smith's wearing number 40, and we talked about that in the sort of little joke about the numbers and stuff, is an NRL player that's come over and is playing quite well. So. I think they've got enough to beat a KR side that won't have a spine.
Yeah.
Not saying they're spineless, but they won't have a spine.
Oof.
The Sky game is, of course, Saturday 3 p.m. The Sky game. The game this weekend, the only game that anyone really needs to watch, talk about, the game that we hope you all send in lots of match reviews on. Leeds versus Castleford. Win and in, the playoff for the playoffs.
Come on, your turn to go first.
No, you're going first on the more.
All right,
you're seventh in the world. I've got to follow your lead.
Fair enough. So, Castleford bloody dire last week. Leeds obviously lost away at Catalan, but were playing a weakened side. I don't see Castleford beat. Sorry, Rob. I don't see Castleford having enough to beat Leeds on their own midden. With the playoffs on the line and the injuries Castleford have got into in their spine. I think Radford will have Castleford revved up though, so I don't think it's going to be a runaway. I'm going Leeds by 6.
Okay. I think it will become a bit of a bigger margin in the last 10 minutes, because I think Cass are going to have to throw everything physically at this game in the first half to make up for, like you say, a lack of spine again for them. They'll have McShane. That's it, really. So, I don't see this. I think it's a better story if Cass win this game.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be Leeds that win the game, and it's Leeds by 16 for me.
Okie doke.
Saturday, 3 p.m, Salford versus Warrington. I bet when this fixtures was announced, we wouldn't have been thinking Salford would be the team looking upwards towards the grand final, and Warrington would be the team sat in 11th place. But that's the way it is played out. Salford by 20.
I've got Salford by 20.
Yeah. Then finally, St Helens will be lifting the League Leaders Shield after this game. They're hosting Toulouse in Toulouse's last Super League game. Hopefully not for too long, but at least for a while.
Yeah.
What do you know about what Saints are going to do for this game? Because, like we talked about Wigan, they've got a week off, so we know there's no Walmsley. And when you played Toulouse with no Walmsley earlier in the season, they turned you over.
It all went horribly wrong. However, Toulouse have been shit away from home all year, basically. Other than the Magic weekend, they've really been poor. They're already down. Like Wigan, I think Saints are going to want... We're probably not going full strength, but I don't think we'll be a million miles off trying to play as many players as we can. I don't think Hopewart is going to be fit. I don't think Matautia will be back. But a lot of the players that were either rested or suspended last week will be out and having a game. So I don't think it'll be an absolute massacre. But I am saying Saints will win comfortably. I'm going Saints by 30.
Yeah, I've got Saints by 20. I don't think you can. I don't know about like how cohesive your attack is. I think you're still figuring those things out. If Hopewart plays, then 30 is more realistic. If Hopewart doesn't play, if you're wrapping him up in cotton wool to make sure he plays in the semi-final, then I think Saints by 20.
Very good.
So women's semi-finals this week, they're on Sky on Sunday. York will be battering Wigan at 3 o'clock. That's what we can expect. Look, Wigan actually put in a gutsy effort against York a couple of weeks ago. One of Wigan's better performances of the season. But I don't see them having enough in the playoff game against Tara Stanley and Sinead Peach and all those other class players that York have got. Wigan don't have their French player anymore, but York, I think, still do have some of their French players. So that bolstered them a key part of the season as well, didn't it? But you've got loads of class English players as well. Tamsin Renouf, you've got in the centres or the second row, whatever. And they're a good side. And then the one that's maybe hardest to call is St Helens versus Leeds, 5:15 on Sky. Now, both these games are being played at Headingley as a double-header, so no home advantage for St Helens. I don't know how many fans will pile in to back the Leeds side, but I think we've seen already this season that these are relatively evenly matched sides.
The final was a tough game.
Yeah, and then we saw the league game between the two on the telly, didn't we? At Leeds, at Saints, sorry, wasn't it? Where Leeds scored really late, an amazing try by Van Goldfup.
Yeah,
she actually scored a very similar, not super, a similar type of try in the game against York this week. Winfield Hill put a little chip over, not against York, against York. Yeah, Winfield Hill put a little chip over the top. Goldthorpe ran it in from about 45 metres out, ran around the defence, but it was in vain in this one rather than to take the glory in that one. But I think this will be a cracker.
Should be a good game.
Championship there isn't really many games that are of any significance. So the TV game is Widnes versus Halifax, but it's basically none of the playoff teams are playing each other this week. But that's on 7:45 p.m. on Monday night on Premier Sports. And League One game of the week is Oldham versus Hunslet. There's consequences on that one for the playoff spots. So Oldham, with the way they've played for most of the year, will be delighted to have a chance, I think, of the playoffs at this stage.
Yeah, absolutely.
Make sure you get your fan reviews into us on all of those games. There's how interesting are they? I don't know. The Leeds and Cass is massively interesting. Do any of the other ones really interest you?
I think Leeds and Cass. I'm really interested to watch Wigan Catalan, because of the playoff implications. Not that Wigan can change position, but these are two sides that will want to lay down a bit of a marker for the playoffs. So I think that could be a really good game. Hull against Hull KR, sadly, we're not going to see it. We'll see the highlights. But that's always going to be an exciting game, notwithstanding the fact that it has absolutely no bearing on the league.
I'm still a bit surprised they didn't pick that as the TV game. But with the state of both of their sides, though, injuries and suspensions and all things told, I just don't know.
Can't be asked.
Jez Litton's got an appeal, actually, hasn't he, against the severity of his ban. I wonder if he's had that upheld, because then he'll get to play in that game, and that'll be important, especially with Parcell looking like he got injured and wouldn't be playing this week. So let's have a look. There's nothing about it on the
online.
Oh, no, there's nothing about it. No, maybe it's tomorrow night. Maybe they're doing everything a day later. Fair enough.
But in answer to your question, the Wigan Catalan, Hull KR and Leeds Castle games, I can get excited about all of those. And of course, I'll be at the Saints game in order to watch my club lift its trophy, and I'm excited by that. And I'm excited to lose for the last time for a little while, sadly. But it'll be nice to watch them play.
I'm as excited about Saints v Leeds on Sunday as I am about anything in the Men's Super League this week, to be fair. Okay, that is the show pretty much done. We're just going to wrap things up. David, have you got a quiz for me this week? I know I'm shirking a bit on the quizzes, but to be honest, I'm so busy at work that I'm amazed I'm doing a show, let alone a quiz.
I have absolutely no problem with not having to answer your quiz questions, Mark. I'd much rather be asking the questions than trying to answer them badly. I listened to Scoot's quiz last week. I had not got a Scooby-Doo about any of those.
Well, it turns out John was off by a year on one of his questions anyway.
Flipping.
It was the one that involved Hull.
Yeah, well, there you go. So I've tried to do a quiz that at least gives you a fighting chance this week, Mark.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, we're going to do League Leaders Shield, not surprisingly, as the sort of theme of this week's quiz. So, obviously, 96-97 in Super League, there wasn't a League Leaders Shield as such because the championship was decided by the team finishing top.
Yeah.
So it really started in 1998.
Okey-doke.
And we've had 24 so far since the grand final was introduced. So how many league leaders have there been in that period?
Different teams have won it?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll have... Bradford won a treble, didn't they? So they've won one. Leeds, Wigan, Saints. Warrington have won at least one. Catalans have won at least one. Huddersfield... No, just one, sorry. Huddersfield won one. Castleford won one. 8.
8 is the correct answer. Well worked out, sir. You got that spot on.
Thank you.
Point for you, Mark. So...
I'm better at quizzes than I am at guesses, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. During that period, we've had some very tight league finishes. In fact, there have been 3 times during that period where the league's been decided on points difference. But what has been the biggest gap between first and second in that time? I'll give you